Is everybody able to see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
Ruben, you need to watch the road.
I'm not driving.
Oh, okay.
In the passenger seat.
Well, then you
so it's fine.
could definitely run this meeting, Ruben.
Yeah. It's really practical for my phone.
Alrighty. Let's see. Oh, look, who else do we have? Got me. And Beyhan maybe is arriving in a bit. Right. Well, welcome to the weekly Foundational Infrastructure Working Group meeting. And I think we'll just jump right into the project board unless anybody else has anything they want to talk about first.
We got a question if we want to have also the AWS light stem cells within your Milan. I can enable it, but yeah, it will be an extra. It will cost a little bit extra for the storage. I asked Chris, but he didn't respond. So
okay. I don't have any concerns on one or the other except possibly the cost. So that seems like a really probably a Chris thing.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, I think it seems like there's technically no problem with that, just cost concern.
yes, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
We have like multiple things. Like we have Zurich is enabled. That is not so. So the defaults that are not enabled are Milan, Spain, Tel Aviv. We do have Middle East and Mexico, and the rest is all Asia. So.
How do you spell Tel Aviv? I don't actually remember. Tel Aviv, maybe.
I don't know if I think we only need like for now. Someone only requested, so SAP requested for Milan.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think in the past we have done it like based on demand, right? If there's demand for it,
Yeah.
and like if it demands from SAP, like SAP is also like a board member and stuff, right? So they have a say in the costs, so makes sense to do it. Like if it's just someone without evaluation with the foundation asking for a random zone and nobody else is asking for it, I would be a bit more concerned.
Yeah.
I don't have objections for this.
Okay, then I will just wait until Chris maybe responds today. He is online, so I hope he sees my message. He reads it.
That seems reasonable. I feel the same way as Ruben. I mean, it's SAP asking, so
yeah,
like these costs are going to come back to SAP or one of the other groups, so it's not like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Would this then also, so would existing stem cells, light stem cells, also get shared to this region, or only for new stem cells then?
Going forward, I would say. I don't think we do replication. It's only at build.
Okay. Okay, because we are on a bit older release with live landscapes, so probably we need to think about some other solution anyways for that, at least temporarily then.
How
Heavy stem cells.
Yeah, or build your own light stem cell, right?
Yeah. Ramon mentioned does not work on AWS or create ends.
Well, createmp doesn't, if you do it from, because Joseph also just replied, if you did createmp from within the AWS network, so if you do it like from AWS stem cell of a AWS VM, then you can do it. Then you create it from heavy stem cell, but you cannot do it from your local machine.
Ah, okay. No, we do it from a jump box usually,
Yeah,
or something like that. So
it's because
okay.
it will attach it will create a disk and attach it to your jump box, then to copy the contents of the image to that disk and then convert it into an image.
Okay.
I thought it was all about the metadata that was not accessible from within createmp.
No, I think it's because of the image creation process, right? So you need to create an EBS volume, attach it to a VM, copy the data with DD or something, right? Like low-level copy of an image, and then
Okay.
convert that EBS volume into an image or something. It's a weird process. There's no direct API to just put the image contents through an API.
Yeah. But it was something like that indeed.
But that happens automatically in create and or so they did not.
Yeah, it tries
Yeah,
to
yeah,
find the instance
yeah.
identity of the machine, so it knows which VM it's being called from to be able to attach the disk.
Yeah,
to it.
okay.
But then,
Mhm.
like, that only works if you are running on a VM on AWS, right? Like,
Yeah.
For-
Yeah, you're right.
for example,
we're doing that.
if you bridge using a VPN from somewhere else to AWS, then it doesn't work, right? You cannot, because then the instance you cannot attach the EBS volume to that instance.
Okay.
Same for running create from your local machine, right? That also won't work.
Yeah, okay. I'm just asking, is it theoretically a possibility to also share older stem cells to this EU South recent gen? I could, for example, provide the oldest stem cell and then, I don't know, maybe it's 3 or 4 or
No, it sucks.
It has to do with there's a list of regions in the metadata of the stem cell, right? So it's not only
No, it's
replicating the image, it's not only
Yeah.
replicating the
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yep. So what we do is we retrieve in the CI retrieves all the regions that we have enabled in our account.
Mm,
And that's
yeah,
how
okay.
and based of that we say which region the AMI should be copied to.
and
But
then and you
we
get
have never made or did a like a back copy because that's a horrible process.
Yeah. I see, I guess. Also, what Ruben mentioned that you probably
Yeah.
would need new stem cells.
It would need a
Listing this
different stem
AMI.
cell or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
yeah, you get an image ID for every region, right? And that
Mm,
then goes into a metadata file, and that's what goes into a light stem cell.
yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah. Then it would be nice if someone could check with Chris if it's possible for the future, but then for now we think of something else. Thanks.
Sure. Shall we dive into the projects, folks? Take a look at no, this is that strange slop account that showed up.
But even signed a CLA. I like, well, what is this about? It's weird.
I don't know.
Apparently it's only for Windows.
It's also not consumed anywhere, which is like it's just adding a function, also no tests.
It will only consume this function if you unzip this change. We're using a specific unzip library.
Hmm,
No. Right, like this feels
Yeah.
like that like multi-part attack thing where you put in the
Yeah.
unused function first and then do something horrible later with it.
Um, and so we are include this. It's a little blunt, but we'll see. Um, I'm not going to move this to reviews yet. This doesn't seem worth it at this point. Um, I think these are. Oh goodness, why do we have? Why do we have merge conflicts on this? Oh, it's probably because. Oh no, wait, okay. Yeah, so I just added. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Just added a note to make sure that folks do this when the contributing stuff comes up. So. I think that can be merged whenever somebody feels like reviewing. Ruben, you're in a car. You can approve this.
Almost home,
All right,
going inside now. We'll look at it on my machine, the computer.
awesome. Let's see. Seegroups V2. Saw this come in. Ruben, you're a reviewer on here as well.
Yeah,
Looks like Wayne from.
I put them on there.
Okay, nice job. We'll ask Wayne to fix up the linting. I haven't dug into this too much, but it seems good. Um,
Yeah, there was the same thing that Beyhan was working on, right? To get working on the OSX stuff.
yeah, I think we have somebody in Broadcom who's been doing some work on getting OSX stuff working with the Docker CPI, especially with the getting some firewall rules to route to I think they're using Olama or Kalima, not Olama, Kalima to run containers. And that's been going well, so maybe there's some other folks who can contribute changes here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
add
it would be
those.
great if we, yeah, if you can provide some additional information, it would be great, Aram.
uh, For cases where uh, right. Anybody else feel like reviewing this besides Ruben? Let's see if Shad, who's been working on stuff from our side, can take a look at that as well. there a way to change the status? Here we go. Where is the drop down to change the swim lane this thing is in? Did I lose folks?
Nope. Neither.
Does
No.
anybody remember how we changed swim lanes in the project thing? Is that you think there was like a drop down that could move it from one of these to the other one?
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for, hey Ruben, I'm looking for the drop down that lets me change which swim lane in the project it's in.
Oh, it's in. So you have their status, foundation infrastructure project, foundation infrastructure status, and then click on status and change it to.
Working group.
It says status inbox, right? Can you click that?
Okay. But how do I change that status?
Oh, it
Oh,
doesn't.
is it here?
Oh. Oh. Isn't it just? Can't you? You cannot drag. Oh, maybe you don't have permissions. Could that be?
That could be it. I guess you're gonna have to drive the meeting then. Or you
Just
can,
fix the permissions. I think that's so much easier.
that sounds too hard.
No, I will definitely do that. So easy.
You
I
need
know.
a promotion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip these PowerShell consolidation code things because they're still a little bit in flight. Context on this is that we're doing some cleanup in the Bosch Windows stem cell builder tool chain. So we started out with I think 4 repositories and we're now down to 1, but there's still some duplication in the contents there.
Aram, you should have write access now. What happens if you refresh?
Let's find out.
Oh,
Ah,
look, I did a thing.
nice job. All right. Pending review for that one. This one I think we can also move to pending review. Um, Directory factory supports inconsistent. So you reviewed this, Ruben. Who else is assigned? We're still waiting for review. I'll ping folks on my end. Yeah, that is, I'll answer that. There, so there definitely are. Question, this is nice change. There are folks who um, see if we have anybody else.
The approvers. That should
Yep.
auto assign.
Should auto somebody.
You don't have to pick people, right? Like if you assign the group, the approvers group, then it picks automatically 2 people from that group.
Yeah, I'm not sure why we have people directly. Maybe this was chosen earlier.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on this, folks? Move on. I am going to, yeah, see, I think we, looks good to me. Any concerns about merging this?
No, that's fine.
No.
Away we go. All right.
Yeah, I saw that he did a force push after we reviewed it.
Yeah. No, this does not look good. I'm just thinking maybe it was just a flake, but that's not, these tests are pretty solid.
It's the unit tests for.
Uh, why not have? There we go. SHA-2. Anybody have context on this? I think Ming is no longer around, so he probably won't be reviewing that.
I will take. It is designed to check.
I don't, can we? I don't know that we want to do this as a
Replacement,
replacement.
but more as an addition. Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would say that as well.
Yeah. If we do, and uh, just start there.
Pending review.
Yeah. This I haven't had a chance to fix. There's some
Yeah, the
tests on
Windows.
Windows stuff that just isn't running. I think the problem think the problem is that the Windows workers in GitHub behave slightly differently from the Concourse workers that we use to test this generally. So um, I will tackle this as soon as I have free time. This one I have not had a chance to look at. I think my colleague Rajan threw me under the bus on this one. Ruben, do you have more context on this?
I think at some point we just said, yes, let's just add this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was discussed like I think it was pivoted like halfway through or something. It started out as an issue in a different direction. But
Yeah.
this is like I think the intent of this feature is that we keep track of the origin of a blob so that we can verify that the SHA still matches. Like basically we have a blob store matching or for a release which caches a copy of something upstream, right? But then like you can basically validate the blob store origin. Like this has to do with supply chain security, right? Like that's a reason why you would want to do this. And I think it's quite a useful feature to have, right? Like I've often with wash releases wondered where something came from, right? And like having a way to check that and also have that like a way to validate that that information is actually still relevant or correct. It's quite useful.
Yeah, I think that can be, I get the sense that that can be a possibility. I think, I don't know if we care about the the theoretical misuse, right? But this is at least in the description that the person made, the intent was to replace a blob store completely with an upstream reference.
Yeah, and I think that use case, I I don't know if that's still implemented, but I think like we
Mm,
pivoted away from that, saying like it's a useful thing, but we still want a blob store. I mean, you could theoretically just the way to work around this, like or misuse it, would be to use a local file blob store and not check it
hmm
into GitHub, right? Like git ignore the directory.
hmm
That would probably work, and I think that's an acceptable use.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know that this is necessarily providing the use case you are thinking of, because it seems like it will just get it from the blob store. Um, Also, yeah, it seems like we should have just moved the blob handling to be in the href. This seems like kind of a combination of like two ideas. I don't think this provides that validation that you're talking about, Ruben, because it really is just an alternate to a blob store URL and not providing, like it doesn't provide any way of checking. Doesn't seem like it provides a way to check from upstream. If you have a blob store and you have an href entry, I'll have to actually go do some more work on this, or now that I've been thrown under the bus, I'll have to spend a little time on it.
I mean, I got the C groups feed too. I mean, that's also
Yeah.
quite a large PR.
Talking about
Tigris
some
v2
fun.
should be easy because it's all additive. There's no problem there.
Oh yeah, no, it's all. And it's a Docker CPI, which has great test coverage, so it should all be fine.
There's no test for it at all, so it's perfect. I think we're ready to maybe go on this default disk type stuff. We've got a couple of approvals. Um,
Yeah.
Can we go for it?
Yeah, if you feel like it. If you want to take the responsibility by clicking that merge button. I mean,
I mean, if you put it that way, Ruben, maybe you should run the meeting.
no, just go ahead, do it.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Um, Anybody have any context on this?
Felix Moehler.
Yeah,
Looks like it's got
so in our OpenStack environment, we had the issue that there was some leftover resources because Bosch actually was not, or better, the CPI was not cleaning those up in case the servers failed to become active. Simply because there was code to clean it up, but the server was never returned from this method in case of error, and that's why Bosch could not clean it up. So yeah, I guess it's just a kind
cool.
of a bug
Yeah,
fix, and yeah, we tested it now.
Awesome.
It cleans up in case the server is failing to get active.
Great. Sounds good to me. Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right, that's good to go. That's gonna need some more work. Let's see what happened here.
Is there currently a process to create new OpenStack CPI releases, or is that currently on hold?
That is currently on hold because our CI has been exploded by internal requirements. I think there had been some talk a couple of meetings ago about moving it to the CFF concourse, which we're very much open to do. I also have a note for us internally to look at whether we want to pick up the Golang CPI, which would allow us to maybe deprecate or at least stop testing the Ruby one. I don't know that that gets us over around the CI problem, but yeah, happy to put this in a different place if we have an OpenStack we can run tests against. Yeah,
Okay.
Internally, there's been a pretty significant deprioritization of OpenStack, both in terms of testing resources and brain power. So, like,
Okay.
yeah, and we don't have any aspirations of holding on to control of that. I think it's the only reason that it hasn't moved is because we don't have access to an OpenStack in the foundation infrastructure like concourse. So yeah,
Okay.
anything any ideas you might have about updating or shifting that, we're super open to.
Okay, yeah. Maybe we can look into it, yeah.
Still
Maybe
recommend
Ruben wants to run an OpenStack in his home lab.
No. I want people to look into MicroStack from Canonical. MicroStack is it MicroStack? Yeah. Yeah, this one.
Okay, that one is review.
But are there like different versions for OpenStack? So does it matter against which version of OpenStack or something? This is
I think generally it doesn't matter much. I feel like we are on a very old version internally, maybe Queens. And prior to that, maybe in 2017, there was some major change in terms of what the auth component, the standard auth component was, and there was some changes in the CPI that had to happen, but I think things have been relatively stable over time.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
but I don't really know. We've kind of got some infrastructure that we've been testing against since the dawn of time, or at least since the dawn of my return to this
Mhm.
team, and it's been working, but I don't think we haven't done a lot of investigation about what
Okay.
the right thing there is.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Right. I think we've gone through these. Do we want to take a look at issues? Anything? That looks like the only new thing. Close.
Activity, last activity column, and see if it was there was any last activity since the last meeting. See the last activity column?
May 30th. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, like, so for every group, there might be like at the top something that has recent activity. I don't know what was the last meeting's date.
June 4. That's the Docker one. Take a look at this real quick. Okay, that's Bosch CPI stuff, Bosch Docker, Bosch Light stuff. All right. Docker CPI release.
For a dormant project, there's a lot of Docker CPI related stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not so dormant after all.
It's like somebody started using it all of a sudden.
Yeah. Started to advocate for it.
Let's see, C groups V2, we've already looked at the PR associated with that. This seems like a great plan. I think the relocation is done. Should be doable.
Yeah, this was more related to something else.
And drop links to yeah, I think most of that work has finished, at least from our side, getting the container images published to GitHub as opposed to Docker. May 8th, that's pretty old. May 22nd. This extract Bosch common stuff is still undergoing. Ruben, you can approve that's done.
That contributions file, I did approve that one.
Log rotate, we're all done. Never mind. If you want to approve this, Ruben, I can merge and then I think we'll be
did
done with
approve
that.
that one.
This one? There were two of them. One for each. Ah, there you go. Okay, we're meeting what need one. How come it won't let me merge then?
Rebase something? Merge what? It's one because one pending review. But that shouldn't be a problem then, right?
I can't hear Ruben anymore, but I will a note
Hey.
contributing about I will also do something like that. Okay.
This is weird. There's two. Is it because two approvers
Or
and
were there
reviewers?
changes since?
I reviewed it now.
Okay.
Oh no, fuck. Wrong. Approve.
I mean, it's just a docs change, but I'm confused why the thing is. Okay, there we are. That was weird.
Yeah, I just reviewed it. So.
Very strange. Oh, maybe because Alpha Site wasn't the shot isn't an actual approver yet or something.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, he has a gray mark.
He's a
Cool.
reviewer, not an approver.
Cool. Anything else we need to look at? Promotions?
No promotions.
No promotions. Nobody gets anything. I think we did all the things.
Yeah, I think we're
There
done.
was one issue about cost reduction, which I linked in the agenda. So we had a meeting this week in the TOC. That one, yeah.
Perfect.
I already notified. The UAA and CredHub folks about the findings here. We observed in a tool which has been provided by the Linux Foundation to look into costs in our accounts externally.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some suggestions what can be optimized. It is not so much for our working group, for the Bosch automations, for our areas.
Yeah.
But there seems to
we
be some
also,
unused IP
Yeah.
addresses, right? So we could clean those up.
Yeah, we
some
can
IP
clean our stuff up. It's no problem. Can you issues? What is it?
Community repo. 1184. We can ask Copilot in agent mode to do everything.
Sounds great.
Yeah, we can do this in this issue. I don't know. I don't think we need an extra issue for that. I don't know why I don't have access to that the resources here at the moment.
Yeah. This seems to be almost entirely CredHub and UAA. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
the bulk of it. There's just like for the other regions, or for the other account, it's really minimal. But that's also because most of the stuff is not moved over yet, or is that not true? Or we are just really efficient.
Stuff is not moved over. Say more about that.
No, like not all the like. Do we still have CI accounts that are paid for by Broadcom? No, we shouldn't, right? Or do we still have those?
We don't, I think all of the things that have been controlled by Broadcom that haven't been moved to the CFF are being summarily deleted on June 15th.
Okay, so that
so
means
we'll,
that we are really efficient, and there's
Yeah,
no
we should-
recommendations. I mean, to be honest, our Concourse workers seem to be running at like 95 percent memory utilization, and these are beefy machines. So
yeah,
I can't find that zombie resource. What the fuck?
it could be that it's just.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's not a zombie resource. That's for the jump box. That's,
I
we
see.
cannot remove that.
Could you, if you, for those findings, could you just reply on the issue if you've looked into it?
Yeah.
Just for context to have.
yeah. Okay, these things. Yeah, that would be good to know. The unused static IP addresses, probably we can just release those unless those are pools that we're using for testing, which is a possibility. Because there might be a snapshot in time. I also think there
Why would
are
you
at
want
least a
static IP address reservation if you're not using it?
I don't, I'm not sure, but I know that at least in some testing cases, we keep a pool of known IPs around and then reassign those to VMs for testing for possibly for legacy reasons. I don't know, but that's a pattern I've seen at least in some parts of CI. I don't know that that's what's happening here, but
It
just
would be good to investigate a bit, right? And then if
agree.
we find such patterns, we can decide this is too expensive to refactor, or we can change it or something.
Yeah.
Right?
And
Oh,
I thought
take a
maybe the
note.
machine type is, but they're already like E2 micros. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the estimated cost savings is $6 a month. So
yeah.
cannot be really expensive machine. Yeah.
Well, if you have like 60 of them, it stacks
Yeah.
up.
Okay. That's it, right?
Yes, that's it.
That's a wrap.
Okay.
Yeah,
See you guys later.
I already got pinged internally about the CRED Hub issue. So they have created CRED Hub cost savings issues. So
Cool.
that's being done. Okay.
All right. Thanks,
Take care.
folks.
Bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.